Hey everybody, welcome to the second Transport Evolved Take 2 stream of the day. I'm actually going to be simultaneously doing a live stream while recording an episode that you'll see on the main channel, hopefully tomorrow. And this is a bit of a test. We've never done anything like this before, so please bear with us, as if you're watching the stream live, I'll pause and answer questions as we go on, but there will be parts of today where I'll be talking to the main camera, which, as you can see, is just over there. So the purpose of today is to take off this Siemens charging station that we've got on the wall here at my house, and then we're going to replace it with a brand new JuiceBox 40. So we've got that sitting here. If you watched a live stream from us before, you'll know that we have actually kind of done a little sneaky unboxing already, but we're going to unbox it again. We're going to compare it to the previous generation model, and then we're going to put it on the wall, and then we're going to charge a car with it. Obviously, because of COVID, I'm on my own. Nobody else is here. Erin's not here. Kate's not here. So I'm doing all of the filming and everything else. So please bear with me, because it's going to take a little bit longer than it might normally do to actually make this video. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get on with it. Let's do a live install. The first thing I need to do is, you kind of get to see it behind the scenes as well, because the first thing I'm going to do is actually, I'm actually going to turn on my Zoom recorder, which is what we use here to record all of the audio. And then I'm also going to set the camera rolling in a second, and we'll do our little introduction. I know, soda is bad for me. I haven't had soda for like a week, so I don't feel so bad. Now, if you've got any questions that you want to ask me, now is a really, really good time to ask them, because I'm just waiting for everybody else to join us in the stream. And so there are people who are probably just going, wait, what? There's a second stream and we didn't know anything about it. If you want to now join and ask questions, now's the time to do it. So once we've got this stream up and running and everyone's happy, then we'll just get on and we'll put some videos out. So say hello to me. Let me know that you can actually hear and see me, and that the stream is healthy. Again, normally we'd have someone checking that for us, but today it's just me. All right, so I'm gonna hit record on my little Zoom recorder here. Gonna put that in my pocketses. I am gonna grab my camera. I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna do an itsy bitsy teeny weeny introduction here, and there we go. That looks about right, but I'm going to just actually zoom myself out a skosh so that we can do. Why are we charging out a perfectly good station? That's a really good question. We're changing out a perfectly good station because we're doing a review of a brand new station from the guys at Enel. So the other thing is that Kate Walton-Elliott is about to test a new charging station product. I don't want to detail the details of it yet, give the details of it yet, but basically she is testing a new charging product, and she needs a second charging station in order to make it work. So I am going to FedEx or UPS or whatever this charging station to her so she can try that out. This new unit will be going in and we'll try that out, and then hopefully at the end of it we'll all be good. All right, let me just do this bit real quick turn this on. So for those who are coming in late, you're going to get to see me film as well as do a live stream. Here we go. I'm going to put that back in the box because it's going to get really dusty in here otherwise. This is where my wife does her woodworking. If there's one bit of kit that you need for an electric car, or at least that will make your electric car ownership experience just a little bit better, it's a home charging station. Sure, you can charge your car from the granny lead that inevitably came with your car, or if you live in an apartment or somewhere where you don't have access to off-street parking and charging, you can use public charging infrastructure. But to really benefit from those low operating costs, to really benefit from getting in the car every morning with a full charge, a full tank ready to take on the rest of the day, you need to have a charging station at your house. So we've seen various different charging stations over the years. I've been driving an electric car since 2007, so I've had plenty of different charging stations, even though my first electric cars didn't need a charging station. What we've got today here at our home is a Siemens charging station. We bought this in 2015 when I immigrated to the United States. We also have a JuiceBox 40 on the other side of the garage, which we were using to charge my car when we bought this house last year. But as you can see, this garage is far from useful for parking cars in right now because my wife does woodworking as a hobby, and this has become her woodworking shop until we can build a woodworking shop somewhere else on the property. But we're going to be testing a new charging station over the next couple of weeks from Enel. Now, they're the guys behind the JuiceBox charging station. As I said, we've got a previous version of that, but what we're going to do today is we're going to install the very latest version of that, the JuiceBox Pro 40. We're going to put it through its paces. We're going to see. Why, dude? Obviously, we've been using this charging station without any problems for a really long time, but today we're going to put in the latest offering from Enel, their JuiceBox. We're going to take a look at the new design. We're going to see how easy or hard it is to install. I don't know because I've not installed it yet. And then we're going to go through the setup process with you here. If you're watching this on the main Transport Evolved channel, then you've probably missed out the live stream which is taking place right now on Transport Evolved Take 2, but you can always go back and watch that live stream if you think you've missed something that this more polished version of the video gives you. Is the JuiceBox better? I don't know yet. First thing we're going to do at this point is to take the old charging station and unplug it from the wall. People have been asking me, is there something wrong with this Siemens unit? Not at all. In fact, we purchased this Siemens unit because it's got an internal circuit that allows you to turn down the power of the charging station. Now, I don't want to get into the intricacies here because somebody somewhere will look at what I just said and go, yes, but the charging station doesn't actually control the power, the car does. But you can, there's a little knob inside here, a little potentiometer that allows you to change what the charging station reports to the car in terms of its total capacity. And it's really useful if you live in an apartment like we used to, where the charging circuit available to you isn't the full power that the charging station can offer. So you turn that down and it allows you to safely use this charging station on a lower power circuit, which is why we got this Siemens unit. But today I'm going to box this up. I'm going to send this off to Kate Elliott up in Washington State, and she's going to be using it for a test of a new product that she's got on review right now. So let's get on with it. So there's going to be quite a lot of toing and froing here because I want to make sure. So much stuff! Our garage is really small. It's a 2-car garage. So much stuffs. All right, let's see if we can boost this down. Boost it down. How's that looking in terms? That's really underexposed. Don't really want to go any. Oh, I suppose we can just take it off like that. Yeah, let's do that. Because I don't want to underexpose it. The things you have to do for television. It's kind of. There we go. Okay. So if you've got questions that you want to share, if you want to send my way while I'm doing this, please let me know, because I would love to answer your questions. Really would. And I've realised that the tool I need is the other side of this. So this is a nightmare at the moment. My wife is installing a chicken coop, obviously for the chickens. If you've not been watching, you might not know that I have chickens now, and so I've been kind of busy with chickens. My wife's been busy building the chicken coop, and that's meant that we've been kind of busy with everything, and we haven't had a chance to tidy up. So. Righty tidy, lefty loosey. I just dropped that on the floor. Never mind. It's off. Oh, there's one at the bottom. Two blue screws, and then literally just lift this off like so. Alrighty. Then I think I need to take this off the wall with those two doobie doobies. Alright. Alright, brackets off. Woohoo! Moving. Seeing if this has got any decent. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Okay. Let me zoom out. Like so, like so, like so, like so. Do 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 do. All right. So what I should have noted earlier on in the video is that all of the charging stations we're talking about today have one of these on. They have an appropriate NEMA. I think this is a 1450 plug, and this is pretty standard now in a lot of new homes, especially ones. That was a Tesla. That was a Tesla making all that noise. That was a Tesla. Does your Tesla make that noise? Because that was loud. That was loud. That was as loud as a gas car, right? Nobody ever says that Teslas are noisy, but that was as loud as a gasoline car. So one thing I didn't note at this point was that all of the charging stations that I'm working with today are just plug-in charging stations. Now you can have a professional electrician come and hardwire a charging station into your home, but what a lot of people are choosing to do is have an electrician install a dedicated 240 volt NEMA 1450. The regulations are slightly different. Sometimes the charging station will be hardwired into your home. Sometimes there'll be ones that you can plug in to a dedicated high voltage outdoor circuit. Now here in the States, if it's inside and you've got a home with a 1450 socket, a lot of new homes do, this is sometimes the easiest way because it ensures that you've got future proofing for the circuit. This is a dedicated 40 amp circuit, dedicated 50 amp circuit. In this house we've actually got two of them, and so we've got two dedicated 50 amp circuits for charging stations. Nothing else uses them, but in our case it's also kind of useful because if my wife does need to use a high power tool, she can just unplug the charging station, plug her dedicated high power tool in, use it, and then plug the charging station back in. So the Siemens unit is going away. You can see how big it is compared to like some other charging stations. This is quite beefy and it takes up a lot of space on the wall. It does have these rather nice lights that light up, but we're not here to talk about the Siemens unit. We're here to talk about the Enel JuiceBox, the pro version of the JuiceBox 40. I've got to do this without putting my address online. Face it away from the camera. What's that? My drink right there. I don't want to get that over the woodworking stuff. So let's open up the box and see what we've got inside. It's really nicely packaged. We've got, you know what? I'm gonna have this one as a second camera. Let's do that. You guys get to see in the top of the box. Yeah, I know, right? It really is kind of crazy. It is a pretty hefty plug. It's a pretty hefty plug. Let's see, can you see in there from there? Maybe if I bring it a little bit closer without dropping the connection. There we go. Oop. That works pretty well. That works pretty spectacularly, if you ask me. All right. I'll bring it over a smidgen more. And I'm actually going to have to show the color card to this so that it works. Do do do. Do do. Do do. That's really overexposed now. Because poop or something. It's a little overexposed, but that's okay, because I'm going to bring it inside a little, just a little. All right. We've got the new JuiceBox charging station here. It's really nicely packed. Let me fold this down so you can see. Inside here we've got a lovely little cardboard protector, I guess, just to help make sure that it stays in place. And then we've got this lovely cardboard packet here. And then inside we have the mounting plate for the JuiceBox, which will go on the wall and replace the one we just took off, as well as a couple of different sized screws. I guess that is so that we can install it on in either wood or something else, so we'll put that up. And then we've got the unit itself. Now this unit is a lot smaller than the unit I just took off, obviously from a different manufacturer. But in a second we'll compare and contrast this JuiceBox, which is very professional looking, with the previous generation JuiceBox 40 that I've got, which is my own personal unit. So we'll try those out. And yeah, just as a disclaimer, I do own a JuiceBox already, but it's the previous generation, and so this is the nice new shiny version, and we're going to put this one on the wall. Let's take that cardboard away. That NEMA 1450 plug that you need in North America. And again, this is a small compact plug. I'm really impressed. Some NEMA 1450 sockets are actually really small, and this one means that it would fit in some of those smaller sockets rather than the big hulking unit we've got on the wall here. It's all molded, it's a heavy gauge cable, and it goes right into the back of the JuiceBox. So this should be a doddle. Let's get it out of the box and compare it to the old unit. So there's a couple of other things in the JuiceBox box, which I hadn't found. Set of keys, so you can lock the JuiceBox to the bracket, which is kind of useful. And then we've got a product registration card, if you get stuck, call us card, and then we've got this really nice manual for the JuiceBox, and obviously we're using a JuiceBox 40. It tells you what is in the box, which is useful, just to make sure that you've got everything. And it also tells you what you use for what. So earlier on you noticed I said, oh, there's some screws in here. Turns out there's two self-tapping wood screws that you can use to actually install the bracket on the wall, and then those other two screws, the machine screws, are what you're going to use to actually install the charging station to the bracket. So let's get going. I hope you're enjoying this, watching it at home, by the way. That's a really nice bracket. I really like that. I really like that bracket. That's really nice. All right, so let's move this back a little. Oops, a daisy. All right. Let's move that out of the way. Let's move that out of the way. And we'll get the old JuiceBox up. Where did I put the old JuiceBox? I put it down somewhere and I was like, oh yeah, we'll use this in a bit. Okay, cool. Can you still see me? Are you still watching? Do you have any questions? Just let us know. Obviously, questions are good. We like questions. Questions are really awesome. All right. Let me just make sure that this is still recording. All right. Just finished recording one. So let's record the next one. It's always easier to record these videos. Talk to me for a bit while I have a quick drink. Tell me what you think so far. There's a big butt thing up there that's flying around. I hope it's not one of these killer hornets. Because you can bet your bottom dollar they'll come find me. If it is. Don't trip over the cables. I should probably show you what it's looking like in the shop right now. So my wife is working on a chicken coop. As you can see over there, that's where our other JuiceBox sits, on the wall right over there. And then we've also got, my wife's got some nice tools on the wall here. It looks crooked, I can assure you it's not, it's just a camera work. And she's got her chop saw here and a couple other things. So she's busy working, that's what this is. This is part of the chicken coop for outside. So one reason why we've been putting this off to this point. Before we get going again, I'm going to find the right size screws for this. Alright, so we've got... Oh, I see how that works. That's clever. Cool, that's what I thought. Alright, so that is to lock it in the bottom there, but this is, I think this is symmetrical, which is pretty cool. So we put one at the top, and then we can put one at the bottom. I'm just going to look at this on the back here. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Okay, cool. Alright. We know how to do it. I'm glad I looked, because otherwise I'd have done it the wrong way around. Alright. That would have been bad, right? Can you imagine me doing that the wrong way around? Ay. That would have been bad. Let's see if they fit. They do. I'm going to use some sockets at the top, and I'm also going to use some sockets at the bottom. Maybe not. I might actually use the screws that I already have, because they're slightly longer, and they'll go into the holes that we've already got on the wall. So I'll make a point of that. I'll make a point to note that when I get back and film. Alright, let's do more filming. Alright. It's a little overexposed, but we can cope with that. Alrighty. And then I'm going to switch you guys down so you can see really close on the desk what we're doing. Here. Back to here. Alright. Doop. Doop doop doop. What you do with the colour card. Yeah, Nikki. You're so smart. You just broke your colour card. Alright. Back to the top. Alright. So I'm gonna just crouch a little bit here with this one. One of the things I haven't dealt with yet is what makes the JuiceBox a useful charging station to have, because unlike the Siemens unit, which I've just taken off, the JuiceBox charging stations are smart. What does that mean? Well, if you live in certain parts of the United States or North America and your energy supplier has a partnership with Enel, then what they can do excuse me, car coming, truck, big truck, utility truck. One of the things I haven't dealt with yet is why the NLX juice boxes are so cool to have around. Unlike the Siemens unit that I just took off the wall, these are smart charging stations. So the Siemens unit was a dumb charging station. It had the ability to delay charging by 2, 4, 6 or 8 hours. It had the ability to have a preset current, which we talked about already, but it had no way to respond to demand changes in the local electricity grid, which is what the JuiceBox's kind of special sauce is. Through the NLX software, the JuiceNet, that you have on the charging station, that's a companion app for your smartphone, there's also a web app. You can control when your car charges based on the local grid demand and also based on how clean the local grid is. There are also really neat features that allow you to say, okay, when I get home from work and I plug the car in, I want you to charge the car to a certain capacity or a certain range and then stop charging and then fill up the battery as and when, based on how dirty the local grid is or how clean the local grid is, as well as other use case factors as well. And that allows NLX to work with utility companies in some parts of North America to actually give you incentives for not charging. Because if you're not charging your electric car when peak demand is happening, you're actually saving the energy generator money as well. So the energy generator will then give you credits, sometimes off your bill, sometimes credits towards other things that you can then benefit from not charging your car up during those peak periods. Conversely, you can also earn money by charging your car up when there is an excess of power in the grid. Either it's a really sunny day and everyone's producing lots of solar energy on the roof of their homes, or maybe it's a really windy day and there's an excess wind, or maybe it's just a low demand period and the electricity generators are generating more electricity than you as a community are using. You can benefit from that one too. So let's take a look at the old JuiceBox, which is what we've got here, this black box here. Now, it was originally designed by the guys at eMotorworks. They were acquired by NLX, and that's part of the reason why the design has changed. But it was eMotorworks that came up with the software and the design of the original JuiceBox. They were very utilitarian, kind of quite sturdy, not a whole lot on the outside of this. And so when the transition to NLX came along, NLX redesigned the charging station. They integrated the cable holder and also the charge holster, so you can put the plug straight back in there. With the old version of the JuiceBox, you got a separate holder for your plug, and it was a little bit more utilitarian. Now, I've had this unit on the wall of this house for about a year. I've had very few problems with it. It's been very reliable. It charges up my car using the profile that I've set. Unfortunately, my local utility does not participate in the NLX program that allows me to earn rebates, but it's a very nice unit. Now, I'm going to be installing 2 of these units later on this year and show you one of the other features that the JuiceNet application has, which is the ability to share 2 charging stations on one 50 amp power supply. Now that means if you've got more than one electric car, you can actually share a single 50 amp circuit with 2 charging stations. In order to do that, you have to go through some special electrical code. You do have to have an electrical installation, and they have to be hardwired units, unlike the plug unit, which is what we've got here. But that is coming later this year, primarily because right now, as you can see behind me, we don't have use of this garage as a place to park our cars. It's currently a woodworking shop because we're building a chicken coop. But let's have a look at the rear of this old unit, and you'll see it's kind of all metal construction. It's quite clunky. It's got the mounting plate on the back, and you obviously install the other part of the mounting plate on the wall. Now, this is actually smaller in terms of dimensions than the new JuiceBox unit, but the new JuiceBox unit is certainly a lot smarter in its appearance. It's a lot more stylish. Underneath, they have a very similar hardware. They're running the same software. They're both internet connected. Obviously, you have a connection to your Wi-Fi network, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's get this new unit on the wall and see what the installation process is like. And I'll ship that off, maybe. All right. All right, now the comparison is over. Roar! I can put this back up. Oh, geez. Breaking the $1,000 of camera equipment. That was not a good thing. Come on, Nikki, sort it out. I don't know if anybody's still watching this. Are they weather sealed? Yes, they are. Let's do that. I don't know how many people are watching, and I don't know how many people are watching in the chat room, but hello. We're back. All right. So, this kind of kills two birds with one stone, because a lot of people have been asking me, how do you film these? Now you know. So, there we go. I will mention about the weather sealing in a second though, that's a really good point. Now, unlike the previous unit, which was a plastic bracket, this is a nice metal bracket. I'm actually going to put it on the wall at about the same place as the previous one. And my hope is that we'll be able to certainly just use the previous mounting holes, or at least one of them, to get it in place. Oops. This is why I don't do DIY. Alright, that's one. The second mounting hole is actually a little bit higher. Do you remember me saying that this one is actually slightly smaller than the unit it replaces? But that is the nice, that's a really sturdy bracket, as opposed to the bracket that was on there previously, which is a bit flimsy. There's two machine screws that you need to install in here. I'm not actually going to put that on the camera because it seems a bit pointless at this point. But you just screw the machine screws into the back of the unit, which I'm going to do now. If I can get them to go in the hole, that would be... There we go. I'm not sure that one's not cross-threaded. So I'm going to do that with a screwdriver because screwdrivers are awesome. All right. Are we still recording? Are we still rolling? Okay, fantastic. Now, unlike the previous unit, which had those two screws that you attach on the wall, and actually unlike the previous version of the JuiceBox, which had a little screw at the bottom that you use to hold it on the wall, this has a very nice little system. So it's got two machine screws. Now, if I was doing this properly, I'd measure the distance. All right, let me do that bit again. So unlike the previous version of the JuiceBox, which has a little screw at the bottom that helps secure it on the wall after you hang it over the top. So there's a bracket at the top that you hang the unit on, and then there's a little hole in the bottom that allows you to screw a screw into the wall to secure it. This has two machine screws, which we saw in the packet, and they line up with the machine screws on the back of this particular unit. So let's see if we can get them lined up. There we go, there's one. The bottom one's not in. There we go. So there we are. They're both in line and on the wall. And then we take the key, insert that in, and the key allows you to lock it onto the wall. So now that's not going anywhere. It's nice and secure. I'm actually going to take that off, tighten it up even a little bit more. Because I want to make sure it doesn't wobble. A little bit too far this time. Backing it off half a turn. There you go. That's nice and secure. And then we lock that in position. Plug it in. Give it a few moments to turn on, and there you have it. All right, so at this point, the charging station will actually operate as a regular charging station. You don't have to use the smart setup to get it on here. All right. So let's get the cable on here. This nice hang on. Oh. So at the moment, you can use this as a regular charging station. You can just plug it into your car and it will work. But the real secret sauce is going to take you connecting it to the internet. So let's go ahead and do that. Hi, Andrew. I'm glad you like your JuiceBox. I like my JuiceBox. This next bit requires some special sauce from yours truly. I'm going to have to record something on my phone and I don't know if it's going to work, so let's find out. Oh. Let's see if we can get this set up so it's nice and square. Is it going to self-focus? Come on. Wakey, wakey. Wakey, wakey. Good. I'm going to put this back on the wall over there, actually. So just bear with me while I put the other JuiceBox back where it belongs. I guess we can't see via that one. No, we can't. Unfortunately not. You know, that was the goal in the studio, but unfortunately not possible here. All right. Okay. I'm just going to pop this one back on the wall, because then it's not in the way, and also you get to see it. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Connect yourself up. Need some better cable management than that. Oh, that does not sound good. I think I just broke something. Never mind. Oh, it's only a lid. Cool. That's alright, it's only a lid. Alright. One. Let's hit record. Let's hit record. The JuiceBox is one of those. Yep. The JuiceBox is indeed one of those. So, please forgive me. I have two of these, but new house only has enough current for 150 amp circuit in the garage. Then the JuiceBox is one that will share, but you have to hardwire it in order to make use of that. So, let me see if I can get this screen mirroring working. Oh, that's to the living room. That wouldn't work. So now I've got to, what you're gonna see now is, you're gonna see a, I'm gonna have to install some apps on here, but I can't show this to you, but the final video will actually show it, so if that makes sense. Oh. There we go. All right, so last bit of filming. I just need to go to QuickTime. I know, right? 32 amps is it feels slow. But that's essentially what we've got here. New movie recording. That's not what I'm looking for. JuiceNet. I don't know why it's not letting me export to my phone. That's interesting. Interesting. All right. New movie recording. Cancel. Cancel. Let's see if I plug this in and see if it... Oh! Hello! Let's see if you will let me do it now. Ando! Yay! Alright, so here we go. Someone is crawling on my face, which is never a good thing. Someone crawling on your face is pretty bad. Here we go. Right, so that should be linked. So, what are you? Go away. That was like a midgie. Need to just try and find my train of thought. And then So now I've got the charging station on the wall. The next thing we need to do is go to the JuiceNet app, which you'll see here on the screen. I'm setting this up. So this is my current JuiceNet house. We've got my JuiceNet device and my JuiceNet settings, but then I want to add a new JuiceNet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit connect now. I need to make sure that my JuiceNet is not plugged in, so I'm going to go do that. It's telling me, and it's a really simple app, it tells me exactly what to do. Make sure you have your Wi-Fi password, your JuiceNet device is properly mounted and not plugged into the power outlet. So we're going to plug the JuiceNet in onto the power outlet and then click next. So let's do that. We're going to click next, and it's then going to tell me to connect to the JuiceBox from my Wi-Fi settings. So let's do that. Now this may take a while because it's turning on and booting, but in a second we will see the JuiceNet pop up as a Wi-Fi network that we can use. There we go, JuiceNet. It's an unsecured network at the moment, which is fine. We're going to join to that, and then we're going to be able to configure it using the app. So let's go back to the app. Great, now your phone is connected to JuiceNet. Make sure that you know your Wi-Fi password, which we don't need here. Oh, let's try again. Still on the JuiceNet, the unsecured network. Cool. EV JuiceNet. Cool. This is not so cool. All right, well, maybe I need to unplug it and start again. Now I should note here that this is right on the edge of our Wi-Fi network, so this one may not want to connect. The other one is kind of closer in to the Wi-Fi coverage, so it may be that we need to move our router and or our Wi-Fi extender just to make sure that it's within range. So I'm going to wait for that JuiceNet to come back online. I just got coal rolled on my bike. Dude, that sucks. I'm really sorry. That sucks. If you're going to get a pair of JuiceNet devices, there are other options that do the same thing. But you should also be aware that you'll need to get them hardwired in if you're doing that. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Denali fast. Password is correct. There's no password. There's no password. Oh, that's interesting. It's going to connect to the guest network. We have a guest network with no password, specifically for Internet of Things. It's a way up the mountain. Oh, there is a password. That's stupid. I forgot there was a password. That's totally my fault. Okay, next. So I'm going to have to do this again, I'm sorry. So I screwed up that first time, so we're going to try it again. You have to wait for the network to arrive, the JuiceNet. So we're going to click on that, and hopefully it will connect to the JuiceNet when that is up and running. JuiceNet. So we're onto the JuiceNet. Yay. Alright, now we're going to search for Wi-Fi networks. We're going to join. We're actually going to join a different network. We're actually going to change one of our settings. Oh, maybe not. Let's see if this works. Let's try it. We're going to try and connect now to the network. It's going to connect to the Denali fast network, and hopefully then it will verify that it's able to connect. And once it's able to connect, then hopefully we'll be able to set it up so it does the charging and does any software updates that it needs to, and everything, fingers crossed, will be a-okay. It's right at the edge of our short networks, so time out. Let's try again. Let's try again. If not, then I'll just make some tweaks here to my Wi-Fi network on my home network. We can actually change that. So it's because we've got hidden networks on our network. So I'll make a little bit about that in a second. All right. So I'm going to go to that one, and we're not going to hide it, and we're going to go there, and we're going to apply. Save and apply. I don't know anything about the FOMM car, I'm afraid. I know nothing about it. So I'm just going to be really simple here and say if you've got so if you've just got one Wi-Fi network in your house and it's got a really easy password and it's compatible with the JuiceNet, then you're not going to have any problems connecting to JuiceNet. But if, like me, you live in we've got a 2,000 square foot house, we've actually got 3 Wi-Fi networks. We've got a fast network, we've got a slow network, and then we've got the teenager network, which is what our teenage daughter uses, and it's throttled so that she doesn't kill the internet when I'm trying to work. It does sometimes mean that you have to do some jumping through hoops to get the right network visible to the JuiceNet device. It won't see hidden networks, and unless there's something I've missed, there's no way for you to add a hidden network so that it can look for that and attach to it. So what I've had to do is I've had to basically unhide one of our hidden networks so that it can see it and join it. And then when it's fully connected and everything's happy, then it will work just fine on that hidden network. So let's go ahead, unplug it and restart it. All right, here we go. Hopefully, now it will reconnect. All right, so I'm not going to lie, I had a little bit of trouble connecting this to my home network, but that's because we have a hidden Wi-Fi network in the house, and if you want that to connect to a hidden Wi-Fi network, the JuiceBox will not see it. So what you have to do is you have to make your hidden network visible for the time it takes you to pair it up, and then you can make it hidden again. So let's go in. We're looking for the correct network now. I've had to reboot it. So you turn it back on, it reboots, and then hopefully any second the JuiceNet will appear, and it will say, hey, this is a network that you can connect to. And you connect to it. I'm not doing very well with my words right now. This happens sometimes towards the end of a recording. It also says it's 9:41 in the afternoon, which I always find funny. All right. So when you pair this with your Wi-Fi network, you obviously need to make sure that you put the charging station somewhere where the Wi-Fi network extends to. In this house, it's right at the corner of the house, it's in the farthest reach, and the only Wi-Fi network that reaches out this far is kind of a hidden one that we've got. So we had to make it visible because the JuiceBox won't see a hidden network. So you unplug the JuiceBox, you plug it back in, you wait for it to go into its ad hoc pairing mode. So we've got JuiceNet here, which is the JuiceBox net. Once it has connected to that, you go back to the app and it will search for Wi-Fi networks in your area, and hopefully this time it will find the Wi-Fi network that I want it to join. So, oh, did it just kick me off? Oh, for goodness sake. All right, here we go. I don't know if that's the right password because it's a long time ago since I entered a password. Let's find out. Almost done, waiting for Wi-Fi connection to the internet. This is a good sign. So then, fingers crossed, once we've got our JuiceNet connected, then it will be able to connect to the Wi-Fi, and it says JuiceNet complete. Success. Woohoo! Alright, so next you'll see this wonderful thing here, and we can name it. So, I don't know if this is the right one. Let's find out. We'll find out by plugging it into a car. Alright. Let's find out. That is the nice sound of a charging station plugging the car in. Let's find out. Alright, so that's the other device. So this is the one we've just plugged in. Let's find out if it's actually plugged into Orion. And we can tell it to charge. I have a horrible feeling that it's the other JuiceNet that's connected. We'll find out. I think it's the other charging station that's actually online. Let's find out though. Alright, well I can see all my data, which is a good thing. Let's go here. That's the news. Okay. JuiceNet settings. JuiceNet. Okay. Looks like they've changed the app since the last time I used it. Time of use, which is off. Minimum charge is on. And so we're going to do that. Alright, they're recording again. I'm a nerd. I trained with music and stuff. Sorry, I'm talking to the wrong camera. So it says the network connection was lost. So hopefully it will connect to the Wi-Fi. Find out if it's plugged in or not. Okay, it's going blue, which means it's connecting to the internet. It's a good thing. Then, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Green light is flashing, blue light is flashing. Blue light is good. Blue light means it's trying to connect to the internet. Blue light means it's trying. And it does have a little troubleshooting going here, which is kind of useful. I'm sure it does. It will say blue. Nope, doesn't say. It probably says in the app, so let's find out. They're just not connecting to the internet, dear. Let me make sure it's not kind of reset itself, because that would be bad. It didn't get onto the Wi-Fi. So that's what was going wrong. It was unable. Now the app's misbehaving itself. Wow. Let's turn that off. Let's start again. So obviously the last pairing didn't work. Let's see if it's going to work this time. No Wi-Fi networks with a high enough signal were found. Tap to rescan. Tap to rescan. Tap to rescan. That's a bit weird, because it had really strong signal a few minutes ago, and I can see all of our networks. Yep. That's a bit weird. Let's reset it. It had registered, but it's not connecting. It's working though, it just beeped. My car has started charging. So yeah, I've got signal, I can see the networks. And I should point out here, this is not necessarily a problem with the JuiceBox, but it is a problem of the modern world. You know, trying to get your Wi-Fi to connect is a nightmare, regardless of the smart device you're connecting to. So I've got to be honest here and say this is not as straightforward as an experience as I would have hoped, but if you've got a more modern Wi-Fi system, we've got an older Wi-Fi system, we really need to upgrade to a mesh network, then we are having problems here. So let's give it another go. So connect to the JuiceNet here, which is an unsecured network at the moment. That's the network that the device has actually created for itself. And it's now scanning the local area to see if it can see the Wi-Fi network that we want it to connect to. It does indeed see the network. So let's try again. Something weird's going on with the Wi-Fi at our house. Our Wi-Fi is really problematic, and I don't know why it does this with all the devices. So, verifying access, almost done, waiting for the Wi-Fi connection to the internet. Waiting. It's gone purple, which I think means that it's connected. And now it says Wi-Fi is set up, is complete. So the device is already in your profile. Yes, it is. Let's find out if it's on here. It's offline. What do you mean it's offline? Let's find out. Well, maybe I need to delete it and start again. Let's start again, shall we? This is getting frustrating. Come on, guys. This is not difficult. It's not rocket science. flashing green. Alright, so there is an issue here with the Wi-Fi. I think it's caused by our router, not the charging station, but obviously if you want to have the Wi-Fi functionality, you need to have a working Wi-Fi connection. So I'm actually going to reboot it and see if that will solve the problem. The other thing that I should point out here is that we actually have two sets of Wi-Fi networks that both have the same name, which could be causing the problem here. So again, I just feel like I should probably be really honest and say that this is probably my fault, not the unit's fault. We have two routers, and someone's saying pronounced router. We have two. We have two, one upstairs, one downstairs. They both have the same network. Eventually we need to make a mesh out of them. But I think that's probably part of the problem here, because I suspect that what's happening is that the unit is seeing both networks. One is hidden, one is not. They have the same name. I suspect that's the problem. So I can fix that temporarily by when it logs in. When it logs in, come on, there we go, JuiceNet, B99, that's us. All right, we're gonna connect, next. All right, it's looking for the Wi-Fi. Device connection lost. Oh, really? Let me try one more little trick. It's going to be such a boring little install video, isn't it? I mean, I wanted to do this as a live stream because I didn't want people to think that, you know, I didn't want to make people think that I'm being, like, particularly fangirly about this product, because I have one. I can tell you that the other one was super easy to install, but you probably don't believe me. Let's try again. All right, next. Wi-Fi, you're scanning. All right, it's scanning the network. Hasn't found any networks, which is stupid because, like, I have a thing here that I know can connect to the internet. So let's try two different options here. I mean, even our iPhones are having problems at the moment. So, like I say, it is probably us. All right. I'm also going to make sure that I'm using the right password, because that also may be the problem here. So let me go. Would you believe it? I was using the wrong password. Naughty words. Okay, JuiceNet, you get one taken down for that, because you don't say, oh, you're using the wrong password. Come on, guys. I was using the wrong password. I'm an idiot. I just want to lay it out here. If you're trying to connect this to the Wi-Fi, you need to have the right password. I was using the wrong password. Like, seriously the wrong password. And now I can't scan the network. It's probably because I've confused it. Alright, let's start again. Doop-a-doo. Right. I'm not connected to the right Wi-Fi. Yes, I am. Alright. Wi-Fi. Able to load state. My JuiceNet devices. Add a garage. Add a thing. Do a thing. Do another thing. It's scanning. I feel so stupid. Alright. Let's try this one more time. Oh, Nikki. That was so stupid of me. Right, let's start again. From the top. So, it's just taken me like 20 minutes, an hour, 5 years to connect this. And yeah. That was silly. All right. I can't believe I did that. That was so stupid. I was using the wrong password. That's why it wasn't working. All right, so let's go. Let's go to the device here, and we're gonna turn it on. It tells you to unplug it and then plug it in, which you've just done. And then you have to look on your Wi-Fi list for JuiceNet and then like a number. And JuiceNet and a number is the JuiceNet's ad hoc internet connection. It's how you configure it. It's fairly common with a lot of Internet of Things systems. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is not the first time I've tried to pair this, but the last time I tried to pair it, I actually used the incorrect Wi-Fi password, because we've got several Wi-Fi networks here, and in the interest of security, they all have a slightly different password, and I was using the wrong password, which I'm kind of embarrassed about, to be honest. Let's see if it can find the network this time, and let's see if I can actually join to the correct network. Oh, okay. That's interesting. It was an error. There we go. Let's see if I can do it right this time. Almost done. Waiting for the Wi-Fi connection to the internet with the correct password. Unlike last time, or when you used the wrong one. I feel so stupid. I was like making this video and I was going, oh, there might be problems. It's now telling me that it's successful. And is it online? It's saying it's offline. So let's find out if it really is. Doesn't look offline. Hey, it's just said it's charging. All right, so right now it's charging my Chevrolet Bolt, and it's asking me to select my vehicle that I have. So what you do is you click here and you say I have a Chevrolet, and then I have a Bolt, and it's a 2017, and then I can name it. So I'm going to call this one Artemis. Okay, 60 kilowatt hour. That all looks good. It's a one-phase unit. Save vehicle. And now JuiceNet is charging my car, but through here I can see how much power I've added. I can limit how much power I want to go in the battery. I can tell it to charge until a specific percentage, and I can also do a smart charging, which means you can tell it, hey, I need you to be ready to go by this time, so please just charge until you're full. So now it's charging, the unit is flashing green, and we're going to be using this for the next month or two to see how we get on. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. You can support us through Patreon. You can send us a coffee through Ko-fi and do all of those other amazing things. If you've been watching the live stream, you'll see the hilarity of me trying to get this to connect to the Wi-Fi, blaming my house Wi-Fi when all the time it was this thing that was broken. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the cleaner version of this. As always, keep evolving. Oh my goodness. That was funny. It's my bolt plugged in right now. We've got two bolts. My wife has a bolt and I have a bolt. So you just popped in at the very end. You missed the bit. You missed the bit where I screwed up, which was all of it. Oh my goodness. I'm so stupid. Never mind. That was fun. Thank you for watching. I hope you don't mind the stream going a little bit crazy. I was having all kinds of problems trying to connect this to the internet, and I wasn't problem solving because I was trying to film at the same time. But you know what? We got it done in the end. So this, I really like this unit. I like it. I like the fact that you can lock it on the wall with a little key. She says, failing to put the key back in the key thing. I like the little key that allows you to lock it on. Obviously, I don't need to look at this properly, but to lock it on properly. But yeah, that's it. Ta-da! We are done. So if you've got any questions, now would be a good time to ask them, as I'm sitting here feeling like a complete nut and numpty. But that's okay. The charging station is active and it is happy, so I am happy because the charging station is happy. So you can tell it to stop charging, which I've just done. You can tell it to start charging, which you can do. I can tell it to permanently, oh no, permanently set it to 100%. And then I'm going to rename this one to device settings, front of garage. And then needs my address. I'm trying to fill my address out without telling you where it is, because that would be bad. Okay. Yay! Alright, so let's stop that. Let's save that as a thing. I'm just going to save it as that. I don't know if this video is going to come out tomorrow now because it's taken me a lot longer than I'd hoped. But you know, it's all good, right? The charging unit's there. I'm going to take all of my computer equipment back in here and we'll go on from there. Keep evolving.